Hello, it's Doug from Behind Closed Doors, and today I'm going to be looking at two videos from two different Jacks. The first one is from Jack Harlow and the other one is from Jack Nicholson. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at both videos because they're both very similar in a lot of ways, and we're going to compare the two. In both situations, they're both approaching a woman in a public place, an award ceremony or something, in front of cameras and all that kind of stuff, and going over and saying hello. So let's have a look at the videos.
Saweetie, how it feel doing numbers?
Hey girl, what's up?
Hi, Saweetie.
Hi.
Jack.
I know.
Good to see you. I ain't trying to interrupt. I just want to say how we never met. How you know?
I can see it.
You don't like getting caught off guard?
Why are you shaking?
Am I?
Yeah.
Nobody's shaking. Nobody's shaking.
Jack, step into the shade room.
All right, roomies, we got Jack stepping.
Okay, right, there's more of the video, but I'm just going to leave it for there for now, because that was like 25 seconds and a lot happened in 25 seconds. Even though it doesn't look like it, a lot happened in 25 seconds. So let's have a quick look at that. So I'm just going to play it a bit, see if I can play this a bit slowly. And the difficulty with this is that I can't really hear very well what they're actually saying because it's kind of away from the microphone. So I'm going to try and turn the sound up and hear what's being said. So let's just do a bit of a breakdown analysis of this. So the first few seconds, she's going up to have this interview with this girl. There's two things here from the mystery method actually. One is that he's going in less than 3 seconds. So he's spotted her and he's going in. Unless he's seen her, you know, and he's built up to it, he's literally just seen her and just gone in, and didn't matter what she was doing, he's just gone straight in. I'm not saying that's a good approach or not, but it seems to be that's what he's doing. He saw her and he's making his approach. The other thing is that he's not coming in from behind her, because if he came in from behind her, it would really freak her out. He came in from the side and it still startled her, and there's no way that he could come in from the front. So he's approached her coming in side by side. And he's leaned in, and just look at her face when he leans in into her personal space.
Jack.
I know.
Notice the change in her voice, sort of like, oh, hi, yeah, and then he leans in, hi, that change of tone.
Jack.
He offers his hand out to, so he's just saying hello, but he's like really getting in her face and maintaining eye contact. She's offered the hand politely. Something about being caught off guard or something, maybe. It's very difficult to hear what she's saying.
You don't like getting caught off guard?
Why are you shaking?
Am I?
Yeah.
Oh, now she says, why are you shaking? So it's called a handshake, so there's one reason why he might be shaking, but I don't think she means it like that. I think she means it in the sense that, oh, you're nervous, you're shaking to touch my hand.
Am I?
Yeah.
So now you see, like, she's tested him. This is called like a shit test or something. So either he is shaking because he's nervous, or he's not shaking because he's not nervous. So either way, this is still a shit test, because if somebody was shaking because they were nervous, you wouldn't try and embarrass them by saying, oh, why are you shaking and all that kind of stuff, because that's just stamping on someone's feelings. Now the other scenario is that he's not shaking and he's quite confident and there's not an issue, but she's saying it as like a shit test. So if anything, that's even worse, because she's kind of already taken a jab at his reputation by saying, oh, I'm coming over and making this confident approach, oh, you're shaking, when he's not. Then that's also a problem, because not only is she being dishonest, she's also using a subtle form of reputation destruction in order to test the integrity of his approach.
You don't like getting caught off guard?
Why are you shaking?
Am I?
Yeah.
Nobody's shaking. Nobody's shaking.
So now he goes out of his way to prove it, and he walks off. So he says, nobody's shaking, nobody's shaking. He's gone in, he's just gone in to say hello. He's offered a conventional handshake, and just, he was probably a bit too forward and a bit full on and caught her off guard, but he did it the way that he did it. And I think because she felt a bit taken aback and on the back foot, she tried to put him on the back foot. So let's see what he's got to say.
Stepping into the shade room. How are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
I am doing great. We just saw you sneakily step in, and was that you shooting your shot at Saweetie?
That was me saying hello, but you can't say hello these days, I guess.
You can say hello, but...
That was me saying hello. So even though the video, the title is called Jack Shoots His Shot, he's saying, no, oh, that was just me saying hello. So they've still called the video that. And when he says it, he's saying it with a cheeky smile on his face.
No, it was a nice hello, like a real smooth hello.
I'm a nice person.
Okay. Would you ever shoot?
Yeah, so he's playing it very subtly, but yet very strong and direct.
Would you ever shoot your shot at Saweetie?
No, that's a friend. That's a friend vibe.
The friend vibe. Well, what do you?
He's a smooth guy, I will give him that. Like, he's done everything so smoothly and very well. So let's have a look at another one. Let's have a look at Jack Nicholson. The first thing I'll observe is that you can see Jack Nicholson in the background here, and he's just wiping his brow and having a look at it. Now, that may be genuine, or he might be just building the confidence or finding the right moment to interject into the conversation. But the other Jack appeared to go straight in, whereas Nicholson's just holding back a little bit and waiting for the right moment.
I think I've ever
But he's still making a very direct approach.
felt like actual shock.
We can see it. Oh, you got a fan here.
So again, he comes in from the left side as well. With Jack Harlow leaned in, whereas Nicholson's got a lot more social distance and he's kind of leaning back.
No politics,
Jack, no?
George. What about
If you want to talk politics, we can.
So he says hello to the presenter because he's aware that he's interrupting an interview here. Whereas, again, Jack Harlow didn't really pay attention to the other lady that she was talking to. He kind of blanked her and just spoke exclusively to the girl that he was hitting on. So again, he's done a handshake there. He's noticed how Nicholson is also touching on the shoulder and building kino escalation, which means physical touch. And it's a very polite way and place to place your hand on somebody. Although he is looking down, so he's not maintaining direct eye contact all the time. He's looking away. So he said, "You've done such a beautiful job, and I don't mean to crash the interview." So he's very socially aware of what's going on, and so he's apologising for intruding, and he's just offering a compliment. So again, the other Jack Harlow kind of just went in to say hi. He's gone in to compliment her on winning an award, which I think is much better to him, and you can see in the way that she responds to him as well. She's very much taken aback, whereas the other girl was sort of like, what are you doing kind of a thing. She's much more in awe of his high status and who he is, and sort of like, she's like literally breathless.
Thank you. Yeah, you're being really rude.
Good to see you.
And so he says about sorry for interrupting and all that kind of stuff, and she was like, yeah, you're being really rude. And one shit test is more kind of like a shit test, and the other one is a subtle kind of like jab, and it's more playful. You see the difference between the two?
Yeah, you're being really rude.
So when she negs him, he just laughs it off as a joke, as the joke that it's intended to be, because it's all in a playful. You see, and the other thing I'd say about this interaction here is it's much more of a playful nature to it. The one with the Jack Harlow seemed a bit more serious and upfront and sort of like in your face, whereas this one's more kind of casual, relaxed, flirty, and more kind of, it's got more of a positive vibe to it. So he's saying, enjoy the night, I loved you in the movie. And so again, he's just coming over to offer value to her. He's not coming in to say, hi, I'm here, meet me. He's coming over and he's saying, look, you're a really good movie, congratulations, I hope you have a great night, da 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 da. So he's showering her in positivity and value, and she's thanking him for it. So again, she's being very polite, she's not giving him loads of shit tests, she's not questioning him. When they give shit tests, they challenge, accuse and tease. So the challenge and accuse, if they're done in a teasing nature, like what she's doing, then it's more fun and playful, it's a better vibe. But if they're not teasing it and it's just a challenge or an accuse, then it feels a bit more harsh. And again, just before he exits the conversation, again, he's very polite gentleman about everything and says goodbye to George and all that kind of stuff. So again, he's acknowledging the social parameters that are there. And just before he leaves, he raises his Jack Nicholson eyebrows and says, "You look like an old girlfriend." And then she turns around and says, "Do I look like a new girlfriend?" And he says, "I thought about it." What a lovely interaction. How lovely is that?
Thank you. I loved all your movies. Oh, really? Do I look like a new girlfriend?
I thought about
it. Is he still here?
I'll be waiting.
Oh my god!
And so he comes back and says, I'll be waiting. And so again, it's very fun, very flirty, very playful, and it's a really positive interaction.
I need a rear view mirror.
And so again, he does come up from behind for the second time, but she's already aware that he's there and that he's being playful. And that he's also playing up to the camera a bit as well. So when he approaches her directly from behind, it's not as intimidating. Because she's not caught off by surprise and she's not off guard.
Well, I was going to ask you, what are you going to remember about tonight? I think it is.
And you look at the difference between the two. So this other woman was kind of like, although she did smile and laugh, she was a bit put off by the fact that he went over and approached. Whereas you look at Jennifer here and she's just like really happy that and bubbly the fact that he came over and said hello and complimented her.
Had you met him before?
No. Hey. I know Jennifer Creditor. She's really nice. Hi. Hi. Yeah, this is my life now. Hey Jack. Hey Jennifer. How are you?
So they're the two different approaches, and you can see how one going over is Jack Harlow went over and he made it all about him and was introducing himself, and it was a bit kind of, it didn't really go anywhere. And whereas with Jack Nicholson, he was going over to deliver a compliment, and I find that's a much better way of doing it. But both men went in very quickly, they said what they had to say, and then they left again. Because you don't want to stay around too long, especially when somebody's not expecting you. You just want to go and say hello and then come out again. Because if you're going to stand around and linger and chat, it's really going, especially in this kind of a situation, it's really going to interrupt what it is that they're doing. If you're just coming in to say hello, it's not so much of an interruption, it's more of an acknowledgement. And you can do this with anybody. You can go to anybody in the street. It doesn't even have to be a woman. You can go to a guy or anything and just say, oh, hi mate, I just want to say, I think you've got really good trainers on. You know, you don't have to have a sexual dynamic in order to compliment a stranger, because people like to receive compliments. And you're going over and you're adding value. And there's this whole thing in the pick-up artist thing where you shouldn't compliment somebody. And well, that's ridiculous. You can compliment people, but you should be doing it because you genuinely want to express how you feel to them, not because you're trying to get anything in return. These interactions are very, very short. They're very, very to the point, and you don't want to overstay your welcome.